discuss a little bit about your book, The Yoke, and the premise of how you came up with the idea of writing this book.
Sure. So I teach these classes called Perfect Balance, which are kind of a mind, body, soul class based on Pilates, really. But I have a meditation component to the class, and it was so simple. One day I was just trying to think of a way of helping the women tap in and find the stillness within. And so I came up with a really simple metaphor of, getting beneath the shell to tap into the yoke, to your essence, to your blueprint, to what you're about and why you're here. And so it was that simple. I just did a meditation to a small group of women, and I talked them through going, into their yoke, and it really resonated. And from that, it was really almost a joke. I was saying, I think I might write a book about yoke and the shell. And I've got a daily practice now where I sit and I just meditate every morning, and I journal and I write. And I just started writing. It's kind of like Forrest Gump. I was running.
That's so good. It just came to you. So it just came to you in easy breezy, and you just channeled all that information.
Yeah.
I love the book. I have the book, and I think it's just like, I could open it up to any page and always read something that I'm supposed to know at that particular, it's like almost like the I Ching.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, the really strange part is that I do too. So I have these moments where I read something that I need to hear, but then I realize that I wrote it. So it's...
That you wrote it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's so wonderful. So how are things for you during this time? Like you're in Melbourne, Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
What is the climate like with this pandemic over there?
Yeah, look, it's probably, we're a little bit, I think, more fortunate than what's going on in New York. But I feel that in the beginning there was more that sense of panic, but things have calmed here in Australia. I think so many of us are realising that we needed this wake-up call. We needed this time to stop and pause and reflect and really reassess how we're doing things and whether they're right. And just like the discussions I've had with you, I think Mother Earth needed a rest, and we all needed a rest. One of the quotes that came to me when I was journaling was that I feel as if the orchestra, all the instruments were so noisy and busy, and now we've just stopped down to the beat of one drum. And we just need
beautiful.
just to sink back into that rhythm, into simplicity, and realize what's really important. And the busyness of our lives was muting out our inner voice of what really matters. And I also thought that I feel like life has tripped the safety switch, but life has done it for our protection, not to cause us a shortage, not to cause us a problem.
We spoke about the synchronicity of all this.
Yeah.
In our earlier discussions, and we should also tell everybody how we met. Would that be, when was it? 2017 or 2018?
Yeah. It was the 11th of August, 2017.
Yeah, that's right.
So I came to New York for a week to celebrate my friend's birthday, Sue, and we booked in to have a special blow wave actual salon. And when we arrived, it was her actual birthday, but when we arrived, the Sheraton Hotel where we had staying and accidentally booked just a few days earlier. So there were no appointments. And then they said, look, we might be able to fit you in with Gad Cohen, the senior celebrity stylist. And my friend was saying, no, no, look, that's okay. And I said, no, we've got to. We're in New York. You know, it's your birthday. And seriously, it's one of my most fondest memories, and Sue as well, because we just walked out feeling $1,000,000. And it was because of how you made us feel.
It
You
was
know,
so
you,
much fun working on both of you. And I remember you were um, you had such a point of view about your hair, which I love women that really know exactly what feels right for them. And, uh, and do you do your own hair or you go to a salon?
oh, I go to a salon for some color.
Okay.
Um, I've got quite fine hair, so it looks great after I blow wave it, and half an hour later, it just goes back to
Are
the
the
same.
salons open there?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
So
oh,
we're
they
lucky.
are.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
they
So,
have to have the social distancing of 1.5 meters between clients.
okay.
Um, but yeah, we can get our hair done. So
Oh, that's
that's
great. That's actually wonderful. And how is testing? Is there a lot of testing there? Or
yes, yes.
there is?
Lots of testing.
Okay.
Yes. So
It's interesting because it's good to, like listening to people. Like I spoke to somebody from Dubai earlier, um, around 2 o'clock my time here. And it's interesting to hear how everything is going in different places in the world. And having this Instagram Live is a great vehicle to really get connected, even though in this time of where everybody's social separation and quarantining, um, we're having the chance to be able to communicate and compare. I think
yeah.
that's so quite extraordinary.
Are you missing the connection, Gad, of working one on one with clients?
Um, I not really, like I love doing that. I mean, sometimes it does. I do miss it. I feel like I should be doing something, but there's something that's telling me it's not the time right now. So like,
Right.
um, I feel terrible to say. I mean, I love my work. Don't mistake me. I mean, I love doing what I do, but I feel it's just like a time to kind of recalibrate, and to rethink and to I think it was a certain point. I think everything happens in perfect harmony, perfect balance, like your book. And um, I really don't miss it. Not yet. I mean, I'm sure I will, but I really don't miss it. I mean, I do help them out virtually and give them guidance and tell them what to do. But I just feel it's a time to really, for all of us, to find our inner beauty and um, replenish and rethink and re-evaluate everything that
Yeah.
we've been, as opposed to just going through all the motions. Um, so I feel it's I'm sure eventually I'm going to feel like, okay, I have to do something, which I
Yeah.
think when the time is right, I believe that things will fall into place. I think everything happens. Um, I trust that everything is in perfect harmony and perfect balance.
Yeah. Trust is definitely the lifeline. And I think if you hold on to that trust, you can realize that things happen for us, for our growth and for our lessons and learnings, and not happening to us.
Yeah.
And even if you just try to implement that mindset, I think that helps you. It calms your
Hmm.
stress response. And so, yeah, I like to always feel as if life is someone that's taking me to the side and putting their arm around my back and saying, listen, Bernadette, it's going to be okay. And
It's going to be okay. Exactly.
it's going
And
to
that's
be
how I
okay.
feel. Like I'm not in New York City right now. I'm in the Hamptons, which is really nice. So I'm by the water and in nature. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well, because I feel, filled up. And, when I feel like I can go outside and I don't have the crowds. And um, it's a different energy here. when you're in nature, you actually feel more in touch with everything that's going on
Yeah,
globally and
totally.
internally, and
Yeah,
internally. And for myself, I just think that I'm very blessed. And when I get a little bit agitated, I just try to like tra- change the frequency in my head and put myself in a gratitude mode.
yeah,
Just look at what it is that I do have, not the lack. I feel when we focus on the lack, we get more of that.
yeah,
It's all in our heads, and our heads play a very big part of all
yeah.
this.
I think
So
it's also really synchronistic because in the book Yoke, I talk about the ways to cultivate once you've tapped in, how to stay in that kind of alignment, stay in that balance. And, some of the ways are the ways that you're describing now. And certainly getting out in nature or going for a walk for me is my way of staying grounded, staying calm and centered, and feeling like I've got that lifeline of trust. So all those different ways of staying mindful and having healthy relationships and staying healthy and keeping the balance and getting out in nature, they are synchronistically all the things that I was talking about and teaching in Yoke. And it's kind of
so where did you the title of the book Yoke? Where did that come from?
it came from, I think when I journal, I tend to get metaphors. I really
It's a
feel it's like,
metaphor.
yeah, I'm like I'm teaching my younger self. Like we're sitting down, Bernadette the child, going, how can I explain to you what is within? Well, let's think
Within
about an egg and the
an
shell.
egg, the shell. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. And the shell has lots of different meanings. It's not just the shell, our externals, but it's also fear. And I
Fear.
think that I love to think that to really step forward in your life, you have to overcome the shell, the fear. And, I like to think of life saying, I've given you things to overcome because I'm asking you to come on over. And once you can work through that, you'll see that your obstacles and hurdles are there for a reason, because once you overcome them, you will tap into the majesty of your yoke and the qualities, your resilience, your strength, your resolve, your self-love, your acceptance. And so when I started to work with the metaphor, I realized it had so many branches out from that core metaphor that you could apply to so many different facets of life. And yeah, I just kind of loved it. And I'm a simple girl, Gad. I
No,
don't
but it's
really,
beautiful. I just love what you just said because it's really, I love the metaphor, and I love the idea of the hard shell and the fear. And it's almost like peeling the onion and
yeah,
allowing the light to come, within. And by peeling the onion, you allow, get to the yolk. No
it's,
pun,
yeah,
like,
get to the important bit.
yeah, exactly. Get to the heart of everything,
Yeah,
which I love. And
yeah.
and could we talk about your also your physical Pilates, perfect balance routine that you do and your meditation? Because I'm sure everybody would like to know a little more about that.
Sure. So I feel like it's taken me a lot of time and a lot of lessons to work out what really works for me. And that's how I tend to roll. I find out what works for me and then I can't wait to teach it. I can't wait to share it. I'm a physiotherapist by profession, but I felt with that work that I was really only looking at one facet. So, for example, if I was treating someone's tight shoulders, I could give them stretches, but I needed to look more at what was going on in the mind, what stress was causing them to have tight shoulders. And, we are multifaceted beings. You can't
Absolutely.
just treat one facet. Um, and so I had to look a bit deeper. I had to treat all the facets of my clients. And so I devised the class that, had stretches to release tension and meditation to calm the mind. And it became a more well rounded practice, and then a more rounded class to teach. And I think from years of exercising myself, I, I, I worked out that with exercise, was I doing it out of fear or was I doing it out of love? Was I pounding on the treadmill because I was worried of putting on weight or losing fitness? And I think our bodies are so clever, Gad, that they
Mm,
sense that we're doing things out of fear. And so I
correct.
flipped it. I thought, no, I'm going to exercise and do things out of love.
Out of
I'll take
love.
myself for a walk because I love to get out in the fresh air, not pound on a treadmill looking at a wall. And when
You're
I
right.
flipped that switch and did things out of love and not out of fear, everything changed for me. It's like my body responded to the love I was giving it.
It's a
And
paradigm shift in your
yeah,
whole consciousness.
yes, yeah,
Absolutely. I could definitely understand that because when you do things and you don't really feel connected and you
yeah,
don't do it out of love, you don't get the efficacy
yeah,
of the result that you want to obtain. And it's all in the process. Everything is the process. It's not always the result. Like
yeah.
if you're not enjoying in doing it with love in the process, um, the result won't be, you know, it won't be what you want it to be, because
Totally.
you're just going through the motions.
Yeah. And it's the intention behind the action too. I think
Correct.
always bring it
Always.
back to ask yourself, what's your intention? Are
Correct.
you exercising or are you pushing yourself because you fear being something and or are you what's your intention? And I think if you treat yourself with that kind of love and kindness and
Hmm.
acceptance and work from the inside out,
Correct.
then I think you get into that flow state where life becomes a little bit more easy and effortless, and you're not resisting things, you're not resisting change, you're going
Yeah.
with the flow. And that's a space I want to sit in, and I've been sitting in that space so much more of the last few years. And life is so much more happy
Well,
being
it
there.
shows. It shows even the way you speak and you're relaxed. Just me speaking to you, I feel relaxed.
Oh,
Because you have that effect, and it shows that it comes from within. It's not just an exterior. It's a whole, lifestyle, and it really resonates. And I totally, I love listening to you because I totally agree with everything you say. But sometimes it is hard, when you are, I know when I'm trying to discipline myself with yoga or, walking, I find much easier and something I enjoy to do. But yoga can be sometimes a little challenging for me, but I still push myself. But the breath, that's what I love about yoga because it's all about the breath, taking in the breath and letting out the breath. And then the breath starts to put you into your body, your mind, and your spirit, and you connect those three parts.
yeah.
And that's why I'm drawn to that. But it's difficult. I mean, the more you know how to do it, the harder it becomes.
Yes, yeah.
But
I think
in a
any
good way.
practice that you can find some stillness with, like, if you're struggling with yoga, it doesn't have to be yoga. You can, it could be something as simple as my morning practice is I make myself a beautiful hot chocolate and I sit on my bedside table, I light a candle, I diffuse
Oh, how
some
nice.
oils, and I pull out my beautiful journal with my favorite pen and I just start to write.
Oh,
And
how
that's
nice.
where all my insights and quotes for perfect balance come. And I sit there and I feel as if I'm putting that forward as my offering. Like I've tapped into my yoke and I've found some insights and I just share them. Um, I don't worry about where they land or how they're received. I see that as a little offering, a little way of giving back.
No,
But I love that I've cultivated those simple little practices that just calm me and start my day off well. But if I was doing something that I just couldn't feel aligned with, it wasn't working for me, and try something different. Because I think if you're doing something that feels easy and effortless, you know in your body, you know in your mind, you know in your soul, and stick with that. You know,
Do
I
you
think the
feel it
beach for you is your place, isn't it? To walk on the beach.
when you start journaling? Is it things that came to you in your dreams, or do you have lucid dreams? Or
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
you do have lucid dreams.
Yeah.
That's
Lots of
wonderful. Those
dreams.
are
Yeah.
great. Those are
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
They
I've
don't
got a
happen that
dream
often, but
app
they're
on my phone, and so I used to get up every morning, and I really remember my dreams, and I used to work out the meaning. And now I find that I don't need to find the meaning through the dream. I feel the meanings come to me. I feel like now, I think from the process of meditation, it's opened up for me a portal of guidance. I'd have to say that I can see the bigger picture. I'm not as reactive, and I can see what's going on, and it just gives me more clarity and more awareness, I
more
think.
awareness, more
Yeah.
consciousness. That's
Yes.
what I try to work. Yeah, to be in a state of consciousness and to be in a state of connected with your higher self.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really the key. I
Yeah.
know the meditation does do that,
Yeah.
and I can hear it in your voice, like I keep saying. You just have such a peaceful, soothing um, effect.
Oh, that's nice. I haven't
Thank you.
always been like this. It's taken a lot of work, a lot of inner work, and a lot of letting go. And I know you're into astrology. I'm a Virgo.
Yeah,
Um,
I love I love
you know,
Virgos, and I love all signs. But in astrology, Virgos is a very um, particular archetype, which is very meticulous and likes things a certain way,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they're hard workers. They don't um, they can actually get the work done because of the tenacity,
yeah,
not
yeah.
letting go of the big picture.
But
And
I
and
think,
everything is in the details too with Virgos.
yeah, and ticking the
I have to
boxes.
do your chart one day, so then
Oh, I'd
I
love
get a
that.
better picture of your, because talking about astrology, doing just your sun sign doesn't really do justice in terms of representation of exactly who you are. Like when you look at the total chart, it's almost like a movie script of
Yeah,
it's not like telling somebody their fortune, but it's actually giving them, like, it's like a barometer of of like a forecast of
okay.
certain particular things that are innate
Yeah,
in your characteristics.
yeah. I think for Virgos and for a lot of us, really, it's my lesson is very much loosening the grip and
Yes.
and and just going with the flow, because I think the more the harder and tighter you hold on, the more attached you are. And I think just trying to be unattached, let things come and go, not try to control and tick every box. And that's been a really big lesson for me in my life, to
Yeah.
relinquish a little bit of control, go with the
The
flow,
control.
and see what happens. Maybe life has some things in store for me that are bigger and greater than I have in my little limited mind,
Hmm.
my little box ticking. Um, so, yeah,
But
loosen the
I
grip.
believe that. I believe the universe has, bigger plans if we can get out of our own way to get there,
Yeah,
and to reach our highest potential. It's about letting go, and letting the universe or God, come in and and take take the reins, as opposed
yeah,
to trying to control every little part of the minutiae of your life. And this is why I feel that we're living in a very very special. I mean, it's very difficult, but it's a very special time right now. And,
yeah,
and I say that in I know a lot of people are dying, and that's horrible and sad and tragic. But um, it's also a wake up call for every single one of us, and to really get in touch with what's really important, as opposed to just going through all the different motions and letting go, like you were saying earlier. So I think
Yeah.
this is like um, something that will be in history books, and it's like a biblical proportion. That's
Mm.
what it
That's,
feels like, especially on this coast. It
yeah.
feels like that.
I think it's also such a reminder that life is transient. You know, we're not here for a long time,
We're
and
not here permanently. We're,
yeah,
we're all
and so
tourists.
yeah, and I think well, the roadmap in yoga is that we need to tap in, we need to show up, and we need to stretch. And you know, it's easy to stay safe and small and
Hmm.
not tap into the potentials of within. You do have to show up, you have to step forward, and it is a stretch. Life doesn't come on a silver platter.
No,
But I believe, and I think what I was trying to get across in yoke is that you are birthed with some potentials that are meant to be birthed in this lifetime. And I think what is going on globally at the moment is such a reminder that let's make the most of the life. It is a gift that we're given. And if you
absolutely.
have some potentials in there, like if you want to write or you want to sing or you want to paint, or you know, you've been given those qualities and those gifts for a reason.
And we've
And
been given now the time to do
yes,
anything. We've been
yeah,
given the time to really, we always say, oh, I would like to do this or that. And our imagination is so fertile and vital. And I think we're giving the luxury of time right now to really reassess and reevaluate what it is we really want to do with
yeah,
the rest of our lives.
yeah,
And whoever's, it's for every person, it's different. So it's like a reset button to
yeah,
really kind of understand what it is we want to do. And this is a luxury to be able to
mm,
do this. I
yeah,
mean, it's difficult. I mean, we all have um, times that it's hard, but you have, like you said, showing up is half the battle. Showing up for yourself. Now, like a lot of people find it. In your case, I think it's a little looser in the conditions where you are. You can still go about your life more normally than
yeah,
we've had over here. But I find it. Um, I mean, that's where it's hard, when you have to show up just for yourself, not
yeah,
for others. When we're used to doing things for other people, and that distracts us from
mm,
from the internal aspect of ourselves. So
yeah,
I think for um, the ones that are in quarantine and have this happening, I think it's really about the inside job.
yeah, yeah. And you know, throughout history, and there are always examples of where we are given times for solitude, you know, that things are stripped away for people to reassess. And I
Correct.
feel it's happening again. And, you know, it's trying to dampen the external noise so that we can go in. And I feel again, life is saying, I'm giving you this time. You have nothing else to do. You are in lockdown. So go within, find
Yeah.
out, you know, what you're here to do,
Yeah.
and appreciate the life that you have and make the most of it. Stretch, reach, you know,
Reach.
put your hand up and say, I'll take that idea, I'll birth that idea. I tend to think that creative inspirations, just like my book idea, are just floating around, just waiting for someone to show up and
Just
stretch and
show up
say,
and take it. Exactly.
yeah,
A lot
I
of
just
writers say
feel,
that, the
yeah,
right book is there. It's just like catching the tiger by the tail,
yep,
and you could hear it, in the background, and you just got to put it on paper, because everyone has their story. And
yes,
if you could, and people have fear of, like, people are going to judge what I'm writing, or what, you just have to lose that fear. And like you said, stretch and reach. And the word I'm looking for is really like to, like crack, crack, crack the egg to kind of let the light come in,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
crack the shell and let the light come in to shine. And
Yeah.
because we're all, we live in this physical body, living we're all spiritual being living a physical life.
Yeah.
And I really believe that this life it's really our school. We're all transient here. So
Yeah.
while we're here, we really have to learn what it is we came here to do.
Yeah.
And that's
One of the quotes I have on Perfect Balance is, "You will always find your way when life is your teacher and love is your compass." And
oh, I love that. That's beautiful.
yeah, because
That's
life
beautiful.
is the teacher. And I also think there's a daily dialogue between, who are you listening to? Are you listening to love or fear? That doesn't go away. Every morning,
We all have that.
yeah. So fear will say to me, "What are you posting for? You're posting again. No one's interested. What do you do it for?" And love says, "No, there's someone there today that needs that. Just do it. Don't
Even if
worry."
it's one person.
One person.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's not because that's when the ego starts coming in and telling you, and putting doubt. And I
Yes.
think when you have doubt and you don't live in certainty,
Yeah.
like when you have certainty, you live in love. When you have doubt, you live in fear, and that's
Yeah.
where the ego puts you um, in that place. And ego, it's edging God out. It's an
So
acronym
true.
for that.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
think of that, when I start getting afraid, because it's really our ego, our pride, that's not in the right place,
Yeah.
that is stopping us from moving forward and stretching and doing things that are a little, you got to break the shell. You have to kind of like get out of your comfort zone, do things
Yeah.
that you're not necessarily good at, because sometimes you won't know unless you try it. And sometimes we're afraid. We just want to do things that are easy, that are comfortable, that we're used to. And this is a good time to really, like make a mistake. That's okay.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn. Like even doing this is scary, I mean, because it's technology, getting it right,
Yes.
saying the right thing. If people are interested, they're not, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's
It
just
doesn't
going
matter.
through. It doesn't matter. It's just doing it. It's half the battle.
It's just stepping forward, having a go. Like if you don't talk to fear, what does it matter? We're so into measuring and needing proof that things work.
Correct.
And, I feel like life says to me, what did you expect? Would you only write a book if you sold 1 million copies? Like that's not how it works, Bernadette.
Absolutely.
You write it because you need to do that. You need to tap in and you love to write. Do what you love and let us take care of the rest. It
Mm.
will land in the hands of the right people at the right time.
At the right
That's
time.
actually not any of your business.
That's
You
right.
just stay in your
That's right.
flow. And so that's how I try to see everything, really, not to get overly fussed on measuring and having proof. And I just have to, again, hold on to trust that I feel like I'm in the flow. I feel like I'm aligned. I feel like, at the end of the day, it's funny because the first line I ever wrote for YOK was "fast track to your funeral." And I know my publisher thought, wow, that's a pretty strong line. I said, no, it's the reality check that, listen, imagine your eulogy, imagine what people are saying. They're not talking
Exactly.
about
I was
your
thinking
bank
the same
balance.
thing.
Yeah, or the
Absolutely.
house you
Because
lived
we
in.
don't know, no one knows their legacy. I mean, your legacy, and you won't know it in this lifetime until you leave the body.
Yeah,
I believe that. So I think it's whatever we leave, it's nice. A book is something that we leave behind. And I mean, that's extraordinary. And I know we both, you know, um, met Elizabeth Gilbert, and I love it in her book, Big Magic. Have you
yes.
ever read that book?
Yeah, I love it.
I love that book where she talks about art and writing, and the fear of it, you know,
Yeah.
of just doing the first move. Oh, my dog is like, she wants to be on camera.
Oh,
Hey, Speck, say hello.
oh, she's so cute.
Yes, she's been like at my feet, like, "Ah, I want to come up. I want to be on camera."
It's so funny because I'm doing online classes at the moment with the perfect balance and the meditation. All my
Hmm.
friends and clients send through the photos of their dogs that have all fallen asleep during the meditation. So they're calling
Oh,
me the dog
wow.
whisperer.
She's very calming and soothing. She's all, you know, I know when I get sometimes a little anxious, I take her, I put her on my chest, and she kind of
Oh,
like, she's very healing. She's my familiar.
yeah. Well, that's beautiful.
She really is. She's very, very special.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Anyways, I
wonderful.
guess this was like amazing. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for doing this today.
Yeah, it's like we're lifelong friends, don't you think? We just talk so easily.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. It feels
Yeah.
like effortless.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Thank
thank
you
you so
so
much
much.
for giving me this
Thank you for your
opportunity.
time.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Gad. Well, stay well and
You too. And we're
love
going to do
everyone
this
you've
again, I
got.
hope, soon.
Oh, I'd love to.
Okay.
All right.
Have
Have
a
a
nice
lovely
day.
evening. See you. Oh, thank you. All
Okay.
right. See you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.